for him. But you can't go without your transponder, can you?
No.
Otherwise,
really.
you can't get a lap time.
So you're one of the fastest in this group, Ryan. You're starting 24th. The lights go out into turn 1.
What's the plan?
What are you trying to do to, one, stay in the race, but also try to get 6 or 7 spots right away?
Just looking ahead, looking for smoke or maybe cars in the air. In this field, it's anything is possible in F4, so it's just looking ahead, being prepared. I mean, obviously there's not much you can do. Sometimes it's out of your control.
One car into the pits.
I think
that's not good.
Titus going into the pits.
That's not good.
So what does that do for Costello then? Because remember, Costello had to go into the pits
he's
yesterday.
ahead at the moment, but Costello retired yesterday, so I thought it was game over. But
yeah,
if Titus is retiring,
Yeah, that is Titus, because he's not there. Oh, man, this is going to change everything.
Well, he was in pole position. That is big news. And as you heard, I spoke to Daniel Cara, who said he's on for the win, and now he's got a great opportunity. Woods top, though, right behind him in the 27.
Yeah, here it's really important to not get too fixated on the fact that you just inherited pole position and actually go into the right grid spot.
So they've taken the wheel off. He's showing his hands. They're taking off the rear engine cover, so something must not be engaging or not happening for Titus.
What do you think that could be?
3 cars in pit lane, I'm hearing from race control.
Wow.
Also, just think about how different the conditions are from yesterday's
big
race.
time. Yeah, a lot warmer. There you go. There's the other 2 cars coming in. That is bizarre. Last question to you. We're about to start this race. Did you prefer where you started from? Because they've moved the pole. It is now on the inside, whereas in Formula 1 it's on the outside.
I had some clutch issues, so
okay.
none of my starts were very good. But I mean, the best start I had was on the outside,
Okay.
just on the racing line. So just a tiny bit more grip, and so I'd say I'd prefer it to be on the outside here.
Great opportunity for another Texan come Brazilian from Sao Paulo, and that is Daniel Cara. He starts in pole now that Titus has gone, and they have aborted it. Okay. Now, that's got to be for a different reason.
Oh, there was a car.
There was a car out of line, yeah. Okay. And it was one of the international ones. I wonder if it was Ariel, because if... well, let's have a look. No, Ariel's there. Ariel Elkin is there in the International Motorsport car.
It's Jesse Lacey's not starting. There he goes.
Okay, he's got it going, has he? Yep, there you go. How much are you aware of exactly what's going on? Does your engineer tell you, or you just go around another lap? Or what? These are the other 2 cars, and that's the 7. And
pardon me, but I just don't know the rules here. So what happens if Titus Sherlock rejoins the group? Can he go back to his pole position, or does he start the back?
Pit lane.
Yeah, I think he'd have to
start
start
at pit lane.
pit.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was Eric Wazinski and I think Tanner DeFabis. But that's not a big problem because they were at the back anyway. Maybe they prefer to start at the pit lane. Who knows? So here we go. The body work is off the car. It's definitely something that could be terminal.
This couldn't be a bigger advantage, though, for Titus. If he can get it refired, at least he can get back in the race without losing a lap. If he can get it back out there, we're going to see. It doesn't seem like they're in a huge hurry, so something they can't figure it out yet, it seems like, by their body language.
And it's not something they can risk, obviously, or they would have sent him out by now, because he doesn't want to miss the race, or at least he wants to get the start so he doesn't get a lap behind. Yeah, it's not looking good. They don't need Titus Sherlock, they need Sherlock Holmes. It's a mystery. We don't know what it is. But the boys from Crosslink, and you must be, I mean, you've been with Crosslink now for a long time. You've got to be pleased that you lucked in many ways. Not lucked in, but you discovered a team that really, really suited you.
Yeah, I mean, I started with them in karting in 2019 with the goal of eventually moving up into a car. But yeah, it's become more of a family now. Racing through karts and then eventually moving up to a car in 2021 into this F4 series. And so it's been almost 5 years now with Crosslink in some form or fashion, and so it definitely feels like a family.
And the eye is still on the prize. I've always been interested. Any interview I've ever done with you, some drivers now, as they get older and older, they go, yeah, I just want to be a professional racing driver. And they move away from this ambition of Formula One. You've never wavered from that.
No, I definitely want to be a Formula One driver. That's why I'm doing this. And so I think, obviously, just becoming a professional racing driver is a dream. But I think you have to have a goal in mind, a specific goal, or else you're just kind of, you might just wander around and maybe never really be super happy with where you're at.
It's a good point. Yeah, and like you say, if you don't have the eye on the prize, it'll never happen.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So we are under a bit of a delay. We've gone once round. We were about to start, and then we got waved off. Did you hear why, Ben?
Haven't heard. Somebody couldn't get started. I think it was Jesse Lacey, who's now back in position. And I'm just hearing from race control that the clock is running.
Ah, right. So we are under race, effectively time conditions. So the 30-minute race is now down to 26 minutes. So we're 3 in, effectively. So that makes a difference. And I'm sure, does your engineer tell you that, or does that make any difference to you?
I mean, usually I'll have to ask for something like that because obviously they don't want to overwhelm me or distract me. And so if I ask for, say, is the clock running now, they'll give me an answer. But if not, then they're usually pretty quiet.
They're trying to put him in position.
They're trying to put
That's
it back out there, at least
Sherlock.
pit lane start, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were given a candid example of just that here 2 weeks ago with Verstappen, under braking, very bumpy, and every time his engineer got on the radio to him, he's like, "Shut up! Don't talk to me while I'm braking." Would you feel the same?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be talked to in the middle of a corner, especially with. Actually, I think this is the right start.
I think it is. Yeah, but you don't, do you? You
No,
really
not
don't
at
want to
all.
be talked to when you're concentrating. And he was struggling with his brakes. So this is going to get interesting now because
Here we go.
Daniel Cara is leading them all. He's got the champion alongside him from Quebec in Canada. But he's yet to win a race, and he's really looking forward to trying to lead this race. And he comes across now, starts to accelerate away, which I guess is his won't. And away he goes. He's taken the inside line to cover it off from Woods Toth. And that's a smart move because they're all trying to get up the inside of him. Let's see how this settles down. Sherlock does get out, as do the two Jay Howard cars. Everybody's through turn one. Nobody gets turned around. And it is Cara from the Woodlands in Texas who holds the lead now in the final race. We've got a spin up.
Looks like a Ganella car. I'm not sure which car it is, though.
And the 42, Daniel Quimby, also the man I spoke to from New South Wales, got a good start. Just behind him is the 29 of Keiko Huanio. Michael Costello in 8th position, Greenmeyer in 9th, and Christian Cantu. He's got the whole family here, 7 of them here. His dad came up to me and said, "You didn't talk to my boy." And I said, "Well, I did." So don't worry. Christian Cantu, we got you covered. Won 2 races in F4 at the Mexican Grand Prix, as Titus Sherlock still struggling. I don't know why, but he's come out of the pits, but he was slow there, wasn't he?
Yeah, it looked like there was a slow car, and I wasn't sure who it was.
He spun, I think.
Ariel Elkin spun at 2.
All right. So Ariel's by Elkin then. So, plenty of drama here, and we're down to 24 minutes, and now they've sorted themselves out. Already, Cara has built on that lead over Woods Toth. No chance of a slipstream yet. In fact, Woods Toth has dropped a couple of places and now trying to regain on the inside. I watched you a couple of times here, Ryan, in your fights, and it really is tricky because you want to go to the inside, but you were blocked at one point, then you went to the outside and thinking, oh, can I get the, you're thinking over, under, over, and all the rest of it, and then you tried great side-by-side action through 13 and 14, which is rare here at the Circuit of the Americas. But that corner really does sort out a lap, doesn't it? 12.
Yeah, overtaking at 12 is quite difficult because if you're...
Yellow flag.
Yellow.
Of course, yellow.
Go ahead.
But yeah, overtaking at 12 is really difficult just because if you clear them on the straight, then they have an opportunity to pass you back in 12. If you're on the inside, then they can over-under you, and it's very difficult to stay on the outside if you want to stay within track limits. So, yeah, it might look like a pretty simple overtaking opportunity, but there's a lot of thinking that has to go into it.
Yeah, and this track, and I mean, I've been following this track since it opened, and it's no one's mastered it. Not even Alonso, who was here just a few weeks ago. Verstappen the same. No, they love the challenge of this. Hamilton says it's his favorite track in the world, and I think it's just every year, whether it's a new bump, or whether it's track limits, or whether it's the conditions of the weather, the wind played a part here. Do you notice that when you're going through the S's?
Yeah, I mean, through the high-speed sections, like the carousel, for example, 16, 17, 18, you can definitely feel when the wind has moved, because all of a sudden you may have a little snap or a little moment, and you're like, okay, well, there's the wind.
I know you're from here, but that's now called the McConaughey Complex.
Yes.
Tell them why, Jonathan.
Because it's all right, and all right.
I heard that on the commentary yesterday, and I thought that was pretty good.
I hope it gets
Well, my
named
director
that.
loved that joke so much. We're going to take a short break here from the action while they shoot me. I'll speak to you in a minute. We'll take a short break.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Welcome back. We're under caution here in the final race of this iteration of this F4 car, which did Ryan Sheehan no harm, got him up the ladder into FR and beyond. He's been racing in New Zealand. He's been racing here in the States. He's runner-up in the championship. But the big news story of this weekend, or this race, is that Titus Sherlock, the pole man, there you see him, number 31, has had multiple problems, or at least a problem that hasn't gone away. He's been in the pits twice now. We're under caution, so he's chosen to come in again. He's going to have to rejoin at the back. He hasn't lost a lap yet, so that's to his advantage. But you can see, I think it's a steering problem. You can see him fighting with the steering wheel, and he's not up to speed. It's as though he's trying to work out why it's not working.
Yeah, it was interesting. Before the race, they started to look at the steering wheel, taking it on and off, so I'm not sure if maybe the connector is having
to the
an
electronics,
issue,
yeah.
or maybe a button or something is wrong with it.
It's power steering, right? Maybe
No,
the power. Oh,
no
it's
power
not.
steering.
Okay. Do you have power? No. Do you have power steering? No.
No, I don't think
in
there's
FR?
power steering up until F1.
Oh, well, that's right.
F2,
of course, yeah.
F3.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The F2 guys, not think it's easy, but they go, "God, this is nice."
Yeah. Yeah, I think it shifts more towards the neck once you get to F1.
Yeah. It certainly does. You know what's interesting? Daniel Quimby, who's never raced before or never raced a race car before, is in second place. And Juanio, who's not had a podium this season, I don't think, is up there. And there's a sad sight of Boyardisis looking in his car rather forlornly, thinking of what might have been. He's had a tough weekend, has Michael, for Jay Howard Development. There's no console. I was seeing you at VIR last year, and listen, I didn't know what to say. I just left you to it, because there's nothing you can say, is there? You've got to be left to your own devices.
Yeah, I mean, as a racing driver, when you crash on your own, that's something that you just have to accept. But it's even worse when someone else takes you out, or you have an issue that you couldn't prevent. It honestly feels worse than crashing on your own, just because there's nothing you could have done.
Yep. I misspoke. KK Juanio did get a podium at VIR. He got a third place there. So he's looking to do the same, but this would be a big weekend for him. We'll keep an eye on Ariel Elkin, who's dropped all the way back to 19th. We'll also keep an eye and to see what Sherlock can do. It looks like we're going to do another lap under safety.
Yeah, but I heard he's going to come in this time. And Jonathan, this is a little bit sad. We've had a lot of fun with the FR-F4 U.S. Championships this year, and this is our last race of the season. You guys have your banquet tonight in a beautiful suite, basically the high roller suite here at Cota during the Formula One weekend. So it should be fun to watch. I just saw John Phippen peek in and gave us an I don't know what's going on, so we don't know what's happening there. But is it a little bit sad when the season ends for you, or does the off season just fly by?
Well, the off season always flies by a bit. Especially like if you're doing what I did this year, where you end the season at the start of November in F4 and then immediately go to New Zealand or some other winter championship in January, then it's definitely a very short off season. But if you aren't doing a winter series, then it's 3 to 4 months, so it can feel a bit long. Because I think the longest break you have in season is 2 months, and feels like an eternity.
I'll bet. Listen, Ryan, while I've got you, and we're under caution here, there's your team, there's Kazuba, and I just want to talk to you about the uniqueness of your approach to your racing. Obviously, all of these kids are trying to gain money and sponsorship, but you've taken that role on yourself as a driver, but as a businessman. tell us a little bit about, because I'm sure there's a lot of fathers and kids out there wanting to do this and follow in your footsteps. How did you go about it, and how, tell us a little bit about the setup of Ryan Strong, or Sheehan Strong?
Yeah, well, we've basically created a company around me and my racing. Obviously, as a racing driver, you're basically a brand, and so we created Ryan Sheehan Racing to kind of facilitate that and become the entity that can help earn the funding to go racing. And so Ryan Sheehan Racing are the people, I mean, it's me, but it's the people who are really working with sponsors to provide value and marketing and really whatever they want to leverage with me and my racing. And so it's just kind of about being flexible. There's not really any cookie cutter way to approach a sponsor, because everybody wants something a little bit different.
But you also went for not the normal sponsors. Keller Williams is one that springs to mind. That's a unique, and you've got a role within the company now.
Yeah, I'm actually taking my real estate license exam on December 2nd. So I'll be a fully licensed real estate agent. At
18, not bad.
At 18, yeah.
Wow, pretty cool. And they backed you, and they're a big, big company, obviously nationwide. But it does give you a chance to be, amongst it and actually doing it for real, if you like. You're not just taking the money and putting a sticker on it.
Wait, before we go to that, I want to go, because we're going to go lights out. I'd love to hear your strategy here for this restart, because you've led the field in a lot of these restarts.
I think leading the field is honestly probably the easiest thing to do at a restart, because you're not focused on what the cars ahead of you are doing, and so you can choose when to go. Obviously, we have the specific places we're supposed to go, but it can be an entire corner, so you have to choose either if you're going to go on entry, in the middle, or on the exit of the corner. And so we'll see what Daniel does here, and he's gone pretty much right away.
Yeah, he didn't hold back, did he? That was a smart move, and look at it. He's already at least gapped himself enough where he's able to swerve a little bit away from the 42 of Daniel Quimby.
Yeah, I think he'll be safe going into turn 1.
Yep, 29 is Juanio. He goes to the inside as they take the high line, or the normal race line, and that's nicely done by Cara, using all the track and a little bit more. But it's all fair love and war. No problem so far, but that's a really good start by the American, and he pulls away under the bridge. How hard is the S's? Because it just tightens up in the middle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult. Obviously, you're carrying, and in the FR car, we're 5th gear flat out into turn 3, and then just having to slow down as tough.
Yeah, Woodstock.
I don't think I've ever seen it overtake it at turn 7.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we saw a race one in your race on the inside at turn 20. I'm sure you've watched it back, but that was pretty impressive by Oliver Westling yesterday on Callum Hedge, your teammate. But coming into turn 11, there was a bit of debris. Ben, you spotted it. Let's
just
hope
below
nobody,
that shadow, it looked like a part came off on that pace lap. So hope nobody ran over at that time, but I hope nobody runs over at this time as well.
Tight Durst just got a good place up there. Durst is in 6th place at the moment, just behind Lacey. Woodstoff 4th, Juanio in 3rd place, then Quimby in 2nd, and you can see the gap. Here comes Woodstoff. Got a bit of a... How do you set up? Tell us how you set up the last draft and then do what Woodstoff is, pop out at the right time.
Obviously, you want to stay in it as long as possible, just so that you can get as much speed as possible. And so you're pulling out at the last minute, and it's actually getting pretty dicey into turn 13.
This is great. Look at this 5-way battle, wheel to wheel through 13 and 14. 4 cars, 2 of the international cars, side by side. 3 wide as the 16 of Lacey getting very racy.
What are you seeing, Ryan?
I'm seeing some track limits issues, but I think they'll just call it racing incidents and maybe just let them have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all the teaching that the race director of Scott Goodyear has put in over the team meetings and drivers' briefings. This is the last one, so it's everybody all out here. Great racing, though, and as you say, the racecraft, I noticed that with you in F4, the racecraft improving as the year went on. You just got more and more confident.
Look at that, that's Sharipa.
It is Sharipa,
all the
isn't
way
it?
up here already.
That's pretty impressive. So he's got going.
So he's in 8th place, and I think he just took a position there.
Yep, Augusto Shripa, he's had a hell of a weekend. He has a good weekend at VIR as well, so he's really come on good at the end of the season.
Look at them slide through the Hankook S's. Ryan, I didn't see any of the drivers on new tires for this race, so everybody's on yesterday's race tires. Is that going to make a difference?
I mean, when you have more worn tires, then there's always the chance that you know, you have just a little moment, and that could translate into either a spin or you know, getting collected by someone else. But
so
obviously,
here you'll see the debris just down from the shadow, a little bit to the right of the middle of the course. They're going right at it, right there.
Yep.
They just hit it,
Ooh,
so
yeah.
hopefully that doesn't do anything to a
just
tire.
went over the top of it.
Sorry to interrupt, Ryan.
No, you guys. Wide goes Cantu, I think that was, no, or Benitez, I think one of the Argentinian drivers. Poor, several drivers go very wide in 11. Now, Toth all over the leader. Cara under pressure now. Toth comes to the side of him. Now, who's going to take this, in your opinion, Ryan?
I mean, I think Daniel.
Oh, he tried. But Toth is wise to it. Now he goes back to the inside. Oh, rethinks it. Oh, he's got trouble now. Here comes the 42, and this is great racing as Quimby gets amongst it. Cara trying to defend now, and he was first. Now he's hanging on to second. Great stuff. So, Patrick Woods-Toth of Saint-Lazare in Quebec retakes the lead.
I'm getting word from race control that Tyke Durst and Luciano Martinez got into it, wheel-to-wheel contact at turn 1 Alpha, and 17 got the advantage from that.
Okay, so we'll see if they do anything about it. 10 minutes to go. But with this huge track and these tiny cars, they're really picking lines that we're not used to seeing overtakes at, are they?
Yeah, and it seems like Cara's fell down to 4th now.
Yeah, that's a shame. He was doing everything right, but as you can see, the number 10 with the white top and the yellow side pods working it out now. Here comes Lacey. Lacey being squeezed on the inside. It's dirty over there. Lacey keeps his foot in, though. That's good driving by the Melbourne Australian.
Yeah, Scott Goodyear was telling us not to cross that white
Yeah,
line.
I was just
I know.
wondering, and you crossed the blend line, and they
So-
crossed it real early.
It seems like both of them crossed it, so it might just cancel each other out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're
Look at
following
this,
all the rules.
new
Here
leader.
comes Cara. Oh, he's got to be careful out there. And he's still getting footed. I'll tell you what, he's brave.
So he went to 4th to 2nd there.
Yep. Well, no, Lacey, I think the leader's... No,
I think the leader's way up there. Yeah, you're
up.
right.
He's got an
Sorry.
advantage. Once Patrick Woods took the lead, he's now pulling away at the front. He's got a good head start on them now as he heads towards 11.
Yeah, Woods-Toth was probably looking in his mirrors and really enjoying that battle behind, because that just gives him some more leeway, and he can probably just cruise for the last 9.5 minutes.
How do you think he'll do? He was telling me he was looking to do FR next year. Do you think he'll be up there?
Yeah, I think if you're able to be quick in F4, then you can translate that into FR. So
Good.
I think he'll do really well.
Got to beat some guy called Ryan Sheehan.
Maybe.
So this race settling down, 9 minutes to go. It goes quick, and if you blink, you'll miss it because there's so much action going on. Quimby, though, under pressure at the moment from the 29 of KK Juanio, and Juanio looking for his way. Oh, and he nudges the back. And that could get him in trouble, actually, couldn't it? Because that was a little bit of a forced pass there. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Quimby might have an issue. He looked a bit squirrely going into 15, or that might just be dirty tires.
Okay, well, we'll see what they decide. Soda Schreiber has done an amazing job. He's up to 7. He's behind Durst now. He's got ahead of Costello. And he might even be higher up the ball. We'll check as he comes through. But really good. Titus Sherlock is up to 15th, so that's actually good news. Shout out to Ava Dobson. I met her right at the beginning of the season, and she was too young to go racing in F4. Had to wait. And she did the job and did a little bit of testing in SVRA, and now she's fully fledged and is racing for her first season, and there she is currently in 15th place. Good on her.
It does seem like Quimby has fallen back since that little touch.
Soto Schreiber is 5th now. What a drive. So he's come from what, 24th to 5th. Amazing. Another newcomer, Wolf, down in 26th place.
There's Sharifa, you were just mentioning, Jonathan. Yeah. Somebody just missed the apex curving there,
One
right
of the
behind
Jay
him.
Howard cars, I think. Who's the man behind Schreiber? No, it's not Quimby.
I think that would have been Costello.
Yeah, Costello makes sense, yeah.
And I did get word from Ashley Ongst that Titus is locked for second in the championship.
He is
so
locked,
this didn't,
I
didn't
thought
really
so.
do anything.
Yeah, what happened was Daniel Carroll went out yesterday and therefore scored no points, and therefore I think Sherlock, with his finish, therefore wrapped it up. And Ryan confirms he's wrapped up for runner-up in FR, right?
Yeah, confirmed that yesterday in race 2. So
Good.
today was just about having a good race, and I mean, unfortunately, it didn't end up that way. But I mean, it's
He
always
gave it a good go.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it was stuff outside of my control, so I can't really beat myself up too much about it.
Nah, it's no. That's one thing you do learn from racing drivers. They don't dwell on the past because the next one's coming quick.
And this is when you come in from the back of the grid, the back of the pack, when you're one of the fastest cars, you go through that pretty quick. But now that you're getting into the top 10,
Yeah.
then when you get into the top 5, every move is strategic, where sometimes you could get 3 or 4 people between corners. This time now, he's got Quimby, Cara, Lacey, and Woods Toth ahead of him. That's a tall order.
Exactly. When you're starting from the back, you're looking to pass a car in probably every overtaking zone. So turn 1, turn 11, turn 12, turn 15. Whereas once you get further up, probably around the top 10 or 12, then you're starting to have to really plan out these moves, because you start to realize that these guys are pretty quick.
There's a pass there.
Cara taking the inside line at 20 as it's side by side down the main straight here at Cota. Here they go. And he slots in. Look at this. Tota Schreiber all over him. And he's trying to defend and also trying to get past Juanio. And he's trying to hold off Tota Schreiber, who's on the outside, getting hung out to dry now. There's nowhere to go. So he goes as fast as he can around the outside, and that might work for him, and it has. Tota Schreiber takes
Wow.
2.
And look at that. He's getting that over to number 29 of KK, who was the fastest lap last lap.
Yeah, and now up to 3rd. I can't believe this. What a race. International Motorsport. And if he really doesn't have his transponder on, I don't suppose he cares at this point. But we're seeing his time, so...
And we were talking yesterday, Ryan, about this is the U.S. Championship, but internationally, people are coming from all over the place because it is such a tough championship. The competition is really good, and in a lot of other countries, sometimes the ladder kind of stops at a different level. But why is it in your FR and in F4 there are so many different people coming?
I think there's just a lot of opportunities in America. So just getting on that that stage, you might not even be looking to do Formula One, but since it's the F4 United States Championship, there are lots of American eyes on it, and so they might get an opportunity to go elsewhere and build a career.
And we run some pretty fantastic circuits as well, like Circuit of the Americas.
Here he goes. Here's Titus Sherlock in the 31. And he's chasing down the new boy, James Lawley, and gets past him at 12. Nice classic overtake. Goes a little bit wide, but we'll take it.
And he's in 10th, which is impressive.
move.
On the lead lap.
He's up to 9th. So, yeah, moving on through. And time to go.
Pit lane to points is
That's pretty impressive, yeah. Lawley, though, doing a good job, trying to stay with him. Here they come out of 15 and into the Triple Apex 16, 17, and 18. What's your favorite part of the track?
I think it's really hard to beat the S's.
Yeah,
It's just so flowing,
everybody
so
says
high
that.
speed that in qualifying on a new tire, it's amazing through there.
Oh, it's not been an easy weekend for Wazinski. I mentioned David Dobson. He did the same junior program 2 years ago and did the full season this year. But this weekend alone has been pretty tough. Now, we've got a race on. Patrick Woods-Toth has been caught by Jesse Lacey, so the Australian has powered through. And let's see what he can do in the last 3 minutes of this race. I'm guessing we'll get the white flag next time round. But Jesse Lacey all over our leader and our champion, I may add. And you know that Patrick Woods-Toth, a teammate of yours, will want to win this race. It's always a way to go out for the rest of the season. It helps the winter, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it helps you, hit the ground running for the next year. You leave on a winning note, and you want to keep that going. So you're pushing extra hard at the start of the next season.
I know this isn't the case in FR, but in F4, the draft is so critical. So last lap, right where Jesse Lacey is, do you want to be the car second in line or first in line coming into 11 just as they are so that you can get the draft down to 12?
I'd probably say you'd want to be in Jesse's spot. He's right up close to Patrick, and you can see how much he's trying to break the toe. He might be actually a bit too far back.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
See closer, but yeah, he might have one more lap. So I think it'll be probably really tough for Patrick to hold on here.
Well, I've mentioned this before, but you see the weaving to try and avoid that draft. And
Jesse
doing a good
later on the
job.
brakes.
Very late. And he just held onto it there. And so into the stadium section, the Mission Food Stadium section. Into 13, 14. And we've seen some inside moves at 15. But not this time.
Yeah, but I wonder, you know, Woods Toth has definitely got a great brain behind him and good strategy, but Jesse might be kind of just holding back there, seeing what he can do into one to hopefully set himself up for between 11 and 12. We'll see.
He's certainly got a great opportunity to take a win, that's for sure, and that would be really impressive by Jesse Lacey.
I saw him yesterday, and I filmed this and sent it to Ashley. He was juggling, you know, just trying to get all of his synapses firing as we see the white flag come around as they come up to Big Machine Vodka Spike Cooler Turn 1. Now, put yourself in Lacey's seat right now, Ryan. What would you do?
I mean, it doesn't look like he has an opportunity into one, so I'm going to just be focusing on getting a good exit and carrying that all the way through 11, really, and onto the back straight so that I can hopefully use the toe to get past.
You know, this has be a good race with Alex Berg not racing this weekend. Jesse Lacey started the weekend 5th and he will move ahead of Alex Berg and end up behind Titus Sherlock in the championship in 4th overall. So that's pretty impressive. Obviously, it's Woods Toth with the championship. Michael Costello is going to take 2nd place overall. Sherlock will be 3rd, and it looks like Jesse Lacey, with either 1st or 2nd here, will take 4th.
I got to say, I came out here in the fog at 5:45 in the morning and set up the hand-cooked signs through the S's that got destroyed yesterday, and they were gone before we televised today.
Are they really?
Yeah, so here it is.
Here we go,
Always the
Jesse
move.
Lacey for the lead at 11. And that's a classic inside move, and he's done it now.
But
You say, though,
yeah, did Toth do
trouble
that on
is,
purpose?
Well, here's Toth. He's going side by side with him now. He's not choosing to go with the slipstream, and he's trying to get it done just on pure drive at the moment, and he looks... Well, he's in a better position track-wise at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think I would have made the move in turn 11. I don't know if Patrick maybe slowed down to try and force him ahead, but...
Well, he's made that well. Oh, a nudge from
that's
behind by
that's
Lacey.
contact.
That is contact, no question. Now Lacey looks to the inside at 13. Daredevil move. But he's done it. Forced him wide. I don't know whether Scott agrees with that, Scott Goodyear, but now high and wide goes Woods Toth, but he's playing into the hands of Soda Shripa, who's come all the way from the back and senses an opportunity for a win here. 3-way battle for the finish. Wow. Ryan, who's your money on?
I'd say this might be a provisional result.
Yeah, there's been a lot of little things that they might have to look at
But
here.
take us to the finish, Jonathan.
Here we go then. Out of 19 they come. Last corner, and it could all end in tears. They're side by side, and Lacey's got the edge at the moment. Lacey leads. Toth comes off the grass and does take it with a photo finish. I don't know whether it counts, but either way, Patrick Woods Toth, I think, has just nudged it by an inch or two.
Soto Sharipa is definitely my hero of the race. Look at that. 3rd place.
Officially, it's .017, a hundredth of a second. And he came across the grass and the AstroTurf to get there.
I think I think Scott Goodyear might have a long night.
Yeah, well, he always does.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he decides to do with not just that, but it seemed like throughout the whole race there were some
There's
interesting
quite a lot of stuff going on.
interpretations of the track limits.
Well, Orlando, his sponsor, real estate company in Canada, have helped him on. Motomaster, another one of his sponsors. But he is looking for more, just as Ryan Sheehan is. So if you fancy looking towards the next Formula One stars, you can go look no further than the likes of Patrick Woods Toth and Ryan Sheehan of
And you'll
Austin,
get to
Texas.
hang out with Ron Fellows.
Yeah.
You know, one of the nicest people in motorsports. And, you know, we meet a lot of ex-Trans Am drivers and champions and pros. And with the exception of Paul Gentilozzi, they are all delightful, aren't they, Jonathan?
Oh, they're great. I think we should throw you in a historic Trans Am car.
Someday,
Yeah,
someday.
Go
One
thrill
day.
seeking.
You know, you
Do
were
a
talking
test
about
day.
the track limits, and I know that sometimes you get pushed out, and we did see some over the blend lines, early in the blend lines, but Patrick Woods Toth was forced way out there at turn 20 and somehow was able to cut that angle. And what did you say the time was, Jonathan?
Oh, let me see, .017, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I don't think actually I would put any blame on Woodstock. As you say, Lacey had the advantage as they came into 20, but forced that advantage. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see.
They haven't pulled next to each other to give each other the thumbs up. So I think they might come in a little hot.
Well, Jesse Lacey got his first win at VIR, and from there on in, he's just looked the part. Here's the results then. Patrick Woodstock does take the official victory anyway for now. And it was 0.017. Jesse Lacey of Australia from Melbourne takes second place, both crosslink Kiwi. International Motorsports, 24th to 24. Oggy gets third place, so that's an incredible race. Keiko Huanio takes fourth. He got a podium last time out at VIR. Daniel Cara, who effectively started pole when Sherlock dropped out, was fifth. Zelenka, sixth. Lawley, seventh. That's a great result for the Atlantic Racing team. James Lawley coming into the championship. Titus Sherlock, in the end, recovered to eighth. Ariel Elkin, ninth. And Christian Cantu rounds out the top 10, the young Mexican driver for Scuderia Buell.
Jonathan, I just heard from Race Control that Titus Sherlock is going to win one of those beautiful Omologato watches for his performance, so congratulations to him. And here's our leader. Let's see how he and Jesse Lacey get out of their cars.
He looks exhausted.
He does.
Yeah.
So you win a championship, and then you go out and just for the fun of it, have one of the races of your lives to win the last race. And we saw Callum Hedge there, too,
Callum
just hanging
Hedge
out.
there, hanging
And
out.
Bryson Morris giving him the high five.
What's with the black lids? All of you guys choosing the black lids this year?
Well, I think Patrick started with a painted helmet. I'm not sure why he had to change, but it might just be the new fashion.
There you go.
I like Titus Sherlock's yellow helmet a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it looks good. Now, why didn't they bring in Lacey in second place?
Interesting. All will be revealed. And John Phippen will be making his way down there. But a quick chat with his engineer. And
That's
there
Bryson
is.
Morris, who raced with us in F4
Yes,
and
it is,
FR
yeah.
early on
That's
in the
right.
season. Really good F4 driver. I believe got second in the championship last year, or third. He got second, I'm hearing from Ryan, and then went over and raced in Europe and kind of basically ran out of money. So we were talking about how important sponsorship is. You've got somebody like Bryson Morris, so talented, but you can run out of money, and that's unfortunate, but he's still there working with Crosslink Kiwi. So cool to see Patrick Woods-Toth. And Jonathan, what are you seeing?
Yep, I'm seeing that John Phippen is got the bike and he's ready to talk to our winner, Patrick Woods-Toth.
Thanks, Jonathan. Patrick Woods-Toth, it seems hard to believe in this championship season that this is only your fourth win, but it's your 15th podium. What a weekend it's been.
Yeah, I mean, we wrapped up the championship yesterday after such a strong year, and today we were just going for gold. So it's nice to end it off on a high note, finishing first on track, and you know, we came away with a championship, and that's the most important part. And I'm just so happy and thankful to the team, my sponsors, everyone. I mean, it's just been such an amazing year. So yeah, thank you.
Jesse kept you honest. He set the fastest lap of the race as he was chasing you down at the end. Were you a little worried?
Not really. I mean, I've been a lot of races before, and yeah, I was expecting it. The draft here is so strong, so I knew that he was going to be coming. He passed me to the hairpin. I let him have it, tried to over-under him, and then we raced the whole last lap, and it was an exciting battle for sure.
17 thousandths of a second, by the way.
Yeah, it was a close one. I think it was 3 wide as well, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Well done. Jonathan, there's your champion.
Yeah, it doesn't get any closer than that. 3 wide, as he says, and finding track where there wasn't any. But great way for a champion to finish off his season with a win. It's been a remarkable season, and these are the ones that you remember when it all goes according to plan, and that's how it's gone for Patrick.